Welcome back everybody to a special episode of Adriana's Paper Crafts. This is going to be a really fun video and I know that a lot of you are excited about it. In today's video, I am breaking down my first ever vendor event. I'm breaking down the setup that I decided to go with, as well as some tips, suggestions, my thoughts, I guess, for anyone who's interested in doing a vendor event. Now, the reason I know that this is really exciting is because a lot of us, party supply makers, crafters, whatever the heck it is that you want to call us, have wanted to do these things. I know I'm not the only one that has wanted to do an event like this, but we don't know how we're supposed to do it. Our main source of income is custom design. So how are we supposed to, custom design something on the spot? Yeah, I get it. It's a whole thing. And well, me being the Virgo that I am, I figured it out. All right. And so I'm going to go over it with you guys in this first little clip, or clips, I should say. I'm going to be showing you my setup in case you, for some reason, don't follow me on social media. Because if you did, then you would have seen these videos already. But I'm going to show you these clips real quick, and then we're going to jump into breaking everything down. All right, so hang on tight. So this is what my setup looked like, just, from the front. What I was hoping to try and do was basically separate things a little bit. On one end, I was hoping to show off all of the different things that I am capable of making. And then on the other end, I had obviously more of the items that I make, but those particular items I wanted to try and sell that day. So on the one end, I had my little gift box with a whole CoComelon setup with everything that, we can customize. I had my sign that listed all of the different things that I make and sell. I had this really big sign with different logos that I've done. And then the sign in the center, the one with my logo on it, had different QR codes depending on what it is that they wanted to do. If you want to shop, you can click on one QR code. If you want to learn how to create, click on the other. And if you want to just jump right in, maybe join the template membership, here's another QR code for you. I also had my scan to pay fold and flare sign kind of towards one end of the table. And then on the other end, you can see that I had coloring books, I had lip balm labels, lighters for the grown-ups, bubble wands, I had custom chip bags, tons of sticker packs. And again, my goal for my very first ever vendor event was to not only make future customers, but to make some customers right there on the spot. So I don't think that there's any right or wrong thing with that. I think I just did what I was trying to do. So keep looking, see what it is you like, and then in just a bit, we're gonna break it down a little bit more, okay? All right, wasn't that cool? Now, before we get into it, I will just say that this first ever event of mine, which I'm still kind of riding a high from it. The only reason I know about it is because my brother actually works at Main Event. He works in their sales department, where it's his job now to set up events like this. And Main Event was having a back to school bash. And in order to kind of entice people to get into the, come in the door and donate school supplies, they were going to have vendors who, could kind of help drum up some business. So that's why I was there and I knew about it from the get-go. And I was totally scared, okay? Because as I said at the beginning of this video, we are custom makers, all right? So I don't know what I was supposed to do. But anyways, like I said, being the Virgo I am, I figured it out. As I mentioned just a moment ago, I was trying to first figure out what is my goal. And that is going to be tip number one that I suggest is, what is your goal? My brother kept saying, you can make like future customers, future customers, future customers. And I simply told him, as much as I'm okay with future customers, I Okay, I'm very privileged, and I know this. I'm privileged enough to be able to say that I don't have to work anymore for customers because my website comes up naturally now on Google. So if people are looking something up, my website will naturally come up, my pictures naturally come up. So I don't really have to work too hard for customers anymore. And it's also a lot of word of mouth. So the whole future customers, potential customers was not something that was like ringing in my head. It just wasn't. So I had a little bit of a different goal. My goal was, number one, I want to challenge myself because I've been in this game for so long at this point. Sometimes I just don't feel challenged. Sometimes I get bored. So that was going to be one of my goals, challenge myself. Goal number two for myself, let's see if this is something that I can make money, on the spot. Is that something we can do? Is that even possible? So again, tip number one, what are your goals? All right, don't just go into and be like, I don't know, I just feel like doing it. I understand that, but you know what I'm saying? Game plan has to start from the top, and that means, what are your goals? So with those goals in mind, I moved into step number two. Let's start figuring out how we're going to set up this table. So first things first, I wanted to make sure that my branding was all over the place because it was a little tiny bit last minute, and because I don't know how often I'll be doing events like this, I did not want to go and spend a butt ton of money straight out the gate. Now, if you've got, tablecloths with your logos on it, if you've got those banners, those retractable banners, you know what? Props to you. I don't have anything like that. So what I did go ahead and do, though, was decide that I wanted to make sure that the look of my table just screamed Adriana's Paper Crafts. That meant that I was going to need to start off with a white base. So like in this photo here, as you can see, I used a white tablecloth. Everybody else used black because that's what Main Event provided. But I brought my own only because my items, all right, this is just my opinion, but are these colorful, bright, really beautiful items, they don't pop on a black background. So I wanted to start with white, and that was just idea straight at the gate. I need a white background, all right? As far as branding goes, I don't have anything with my logo on it, nothing big, and I don't want to spend a lot of money. So that means I'm going to have to make something. As I mentioned to you guys before, my Canon Pixma printer here is a large format printer. It can print up to 13 by 19, essentially kind of like a mini poster. So I was like, all right, I've got me some 13 by 19 paper, got my printer, I've got some foam board. There we go. Let's start. We're gonna, make a big old logo, and it's gonna go ahead and have either my website, QR code, something. So there we go. We're starting to, come up with ideas, right? From there, like I said, I was thinking, well, I definitely want to show what it is that I can make, customize, but I want to try and make some money. So let's figure out what are some things that I don't feel like making in the moment. So, we'll just make like one sample. And then what are some things that I think I could sell? Well, I think I could sell some coloring books, at least a few chip bags, I'm sure, maybe some bubble wands, because Main Event is a place for kids, and I'm thinking we're going to see lots of kids. Maybe they'll be like, ooh, 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 stickers. Kids love stickers, right? And I was like, you know what, for some adults, let's do some custom lighters, right? I would suggest to you, again, tip number two, to think of what it is that the people at your event would be interested in. So not only should you be thinking about your target audience the day of, think about where you're going. All right. So this was Main Event. In case you don't know, Main Event is an arcade place for kids. Now, obviously the parents are bringing them. So we're going to have some adults there, mostly children. So what can we do? And that's how I started thinking of what items I wanted to take. Now, let's say that your vendor event is not happening at an arcade. Let's say it's happening somewhere where it's mostly only going to be adults. Let's say those adults are going to be drinking a lot. Maybe it's some kind of flea market, rodeo show, something, right? You need to think about who is your target audience, not just all the time, but who is going to be your target audience the day of. All right. Now, because I was thinking it was going to mostly be children, I only did a few lighters. I did some lip balms as well for some adults, but that was kind of it. That was my first mistake, all right? I should have made more adult things, and even if I didn't feel comfortable placing them on the table there, I should have at least had some on hand and had them under my table. And that's because once some adults found out that I make custom cigarillo wrappers and other stuff, they got so excited, and I had to pull out my phone and I was showing them the pictures, you know, of my stuff, and they were calling everybody over, you know, but again, these are adults. And some people were asking, well, what do they feel like? What material are they made of? Are they resealable? So I really wish that I had brought some cigarillo wrappers with me and maybe just left them under the table. So again, keep that in mind. Just because something might not feel appropriate for the space doesn't mean that you shouldn't take some. Just maybe keep them a little hidden from the get-go. Just, you know, even like custom wine bottles or whatever it is, because I know a lot of you guys do more than just paper crafts. If it seems like it's something that's not appropriate for the event, depending on the audience, still bring it, but just hide it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that was really my only major mistake, but yes, definitely recommend that. So now I've decided in my head, right? This is kind of what I want to make to try and sell. But like I said, I still want to have a display set up. So that means your basics, your chip bag, water label, juice pouches, you know, your other snacks. And to top it off, you know, I'm gonna display it in this nice, cute little gift box, because I actually do ship out a lot of these products in these boxes. So that way we can put some cute little confetti paper, you know, just really make it look like a gift box, right? And I really thought that's gonna help kind of solidify the whole theme of presents, gifts, birthdays, parties, events, you know? So again, I'm keeping everything really just enmeshed in that theme of mine. However, we all know that I don't just make party stuff, I make other stuff as well. So I decided to make this really big sign of all of the logos that I've made in the past. I still have it, let me show you. So again, using that large format printer and that large format paper, I printed this out and I put it onto some foam board, just like I did my sign with my logo on it, right? So this one is just going horizontally, this one is going vertically. Is that how you call it? I think so. So that's not right, I'm sorry. And the reason I did this is because I'm always telling people that as much as I love making party supplies and all that, I am not just a party person. I'm not that, like, that's not all I do. I do much more, and I love doing the much more. And I brought this because I am so proud of the fact that I've gotten to kind of be a part of continuing the whole small business, you know, movement. I love creating, and so I really wanted to make sure that people saw this, and also just kind of give a shout out to these small businesses too, you know. And then I just put this foldable easel thing that I got from Amazon. Since I make table props, I use these all the time, so I took that as well. And then I also had this sign here that listed the other things that I do, because like I said, I'm trying so hard to not only be taken seriously, you know, in the party world, but I want to be taken seriously in the rest of, you know, the other industries that I can create for. So I brought this one is just a regular 8.5 by 11, and I also, you know, just put the foldable easel on here. That way I can continue to use this anytime I need it. And the papers, by the way, that I used for these, this is all koala paper, because koala paper does make up to 13 by 19. So this is koala paper as well, but it's heavyweight, so it's like 69 pounds or something, or there's 70 something pound paper. But yeah. And then the other sign I made as well was my Fold and Flare scan to pay sign with my, you know, little logo on there. And this came in so handy because I know I've seen some people, especially on Pinterest, they put their scan to pay signs like on a hard acrylic sign or in a photo frame, and I love that as well, but I really wanted to, of course, utilize this fold and flare centerpiece. But what I really loved, what I really suggest, tip number 3, is to have something that you can easily grab if you need to bring it closer to your customer. Reason for that being is that our phones are not always going to want to capture that QR code very easily, especially depending on the shadowing, the lighting, things like that. So whenever it was sitting on the table and for some reason the phone or the lighting was just not being cooperative, I could easily pick it up. It kind of went like this. They were able to scan it super easily, and then I could easily put it back on my table. And it was just the most awesomest thing. Mostly everybody paid with Cash App, a few with Zelle or PayPal. It was really, really useful. And it's just nice and sturdy, so I can continue to use this some more. Again, if you want to know how the heck to make one of these, I will be posting the template in my template membership on Patreon. I'll be sure to link everything below. And then the tutorial on how to assemble as well as design it will be for my Patreon members only. All right, so be sure to check that out. All right, I feel like I've already covered a lot, but there's a little bit more to go. Some people were asking me on the actual specific little holders or whatever the heck you want to call them that I was using, so I'm gonna show you guys some of those. All right, so I will say before I show you guys the pieces basically that held the products, I will say that I wasn't even completely sure yet what all I was going to make before I started kind of finding / buying stuff just to hold my products. So tip number 4, I honestly recommend first being completely aware of what it is that you're going to sell / make for the day of your event. Only because, again, you shouldn't be wasting extra money, because what if you don't make that money back? And what I mean by that is that most vendor events, you end up having to pay just to have a booth or a table. The only reason I went to this event was because it was free. I just can't get behind the whole spending a whole bunch of money just to go and then possibly not making that money back. And I know that, oh, in the long term, future customers, again, the whole yada yada. I'm not about the yada yada. I'm about the here and now. Because guess what? While it might take me, 2 weeks to make back a new customer to recuperate that money, tomorrow I might have to buy something for my son. And I'm just like, I'm in my head, I start freaking out because I'm like, money. Oh, electric bill. Oh, this and oh, gas. I'm not the kind who can invest a lot of money. All right, I'm just not. And so I totally get if you are, but for those of you who are in the same boat, who look, we're trying to work with the minimal, right here, okay? So I will say the tip number 4 would be to already know what it is you're going to sell before you start buying the little extras, all right? Just in case. I actually think I used everything that I bought except for 1 or 2 things, so, Anyways, so first place I went was the Dollar Tree, right? And I noticed that not my local Dollar Tree, because my local Dollar Tree sucks, but another Dollar Tree in my city was selling these pegboards. And it's funny because I'd actually seen it in another Facebook group, and I was like, and I finally saw them. It came in black, so this is the back side. As you could tell, it used to be black, and I spray painted it white because, as I said at the beginning, my first step was to think of what I want everything to look like, and I want it to be on matching, going with my brand. My brand does have a white background, so here we go, white. All right, and also white is going to help your items pop because there's no distracting color behind it. So for a quick minute, I almost decided to buy stuff in pink and blue and purple since that's my logo colors, and I'm so glad I didn't because it would have just been really chaotic to the eye, So anyways, so it had these. Dollar Tree had these pegboards. Here's another one. We can go either way. And I wanted them to stand up because look, at Dollar Tree with the pegboards, they also have these little baskets, and it has, those little hooks to put into your pegboard and it stays, right? They also have these flat ones. I also bought some long ones and then I hated the way they looked. So they have different sizes and all that. So you could do like that. You can see the hooks on the back. But like I said, I wanted them to stand up. These pegboards are meant to be put like on the wall. It comes with this sticky stuff to put it onto the wall or to drill it into the wall. Obviously I wasn't going to do that. So I also bought these wood blocks from Dollar Tree. I can't take it off because I glued it. Hexagon, great. We know what shape it is. But so I bought some wood from Dollar Tree and I bought the thick one because they have different kind of sizes. And I hot glued my wood block and I glued it to this. And I also spray painted the block as well because the block just comes in that natural wood color, right? So I spray painted that as well so that it would all be matching. And at first I was like, oh, let me put some foam board on the back to give it even more strength. I will say the foam board did nothing, so there was no point. That was a step that, like, I went a step too far. So anyways, so this is what I use, and this is how I, as you can see in the picture here, where I put my lip balms and just my additional sticker packs. And the reason that I use this one for my lip balms is because I tried to actually stand all my lip balms up, and the moment you touched it, like accidentally touch this, they all fell over. So I wanted to use this so that they could at least be, they would fall here and not fall out, right? So that's what I use for those. And then also tip number 5, I believe we're at tip number 5. Try to raise things up as much as you can. All right. That's something I already knew just from common sense. So try to raise things up as you can. So go around your house. All right. Right now, keep watching me, right? Go around your house and just look to see what is it that you can use. You know, whether it be like little shelf things, a computer shelf. I actually have one here. This, not this. This is a computer shelf, and it's funny because I used to use it as a computer shelf. Now I use it in my shipping station. But I took this with me, and here we go. Like I said, it's a nice big surface to raise things up. On top of this, I put this thing. How does this go? I don't remember how I did this, but this is on there somehow. Again, just to give it more height, you know what I'm saying? And then I placed extra chip bags in here just kind of as my surplus, just so that people could see like, hey, I have a ton, come buy some, right? But yeah, so this is stuff I have around my house that I've collected over the years. But even if you have Amazon boxes, let's say you like to buy stuff a lot, right? And you have Amazon boxes, wrap them in wrapping paper or wrap them in Dollar Tree tablecloths in your color. Just wrap them. It doesn't have to be perfect, but basically cover your ugly shipping box in something that remotely matches your branding colors, and then just display your stuff on top. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as you're creating that height and, you know, just kind of creating different levels and surfaces. That's going to help really catch people's eyes, especially as they're walking by you. All right. Because Lord knows not everybody's actually trying to spend money that day. So they're not looking. They're just kind of like, and they'll keep walking. Right. So give them different levels, give them something that's going to be visually catching, you know, something that's going to just catch their eye. All right. Let's see. I got this easel for my main sign with my business information on there. Got this easel from Target in that dollar spot. So this was $5. This is the one thing I didn't spray paint, as you can see. And also from Dollar Tree was this. Now this is a letterboard. I know y'all know what the heck a letterboard is because lots of y'all use them. A letterboard is a thing where you can stick the little letters and have different sayings or whatever every day. I threw away the letters because I don't need them. And I spray painted this white again. And the reason for that is because I saw all these little lines and I was like, oh, maybe I can stand like the chip bags on them maybe, or maybe like my stickers or something. I didn't know yet, but I knew that I could do something. It did end up being too, like the slits were too narrow to hold up chip bags. But it did hold my sticker packs, and it was really cool. I honestly really, really liked it. I'm so glad that I went with that. I also got this pack from Dollar Tree for Target for $5. And I liked that it came with 3 different sizes. Spray painted these all white as well. And I use them for different things. And again, you're just trying to create height. So this tallest one, I actually put underneath the letterboard so that the letterboard was high up on the table. And I had the stickers kind of randomly throughout, so people could basically browse, kind of like on a file folder, or when you browse for like vinyl CDs. I wanted it to look like that. So I thought that was really cool. And then when I first got there, for like the first 30 minutes, I had all my chip bags organized in this bin. And I had it on the table just like this. This bin is from IKEA. I have a lot of their bins, but this is the only one I used that day. As you can see, I actually didn't sell too many chip bags. I did sell a few, not too many, but I still plan to put these on my website or whatever. Look, so here's another thing, because I know y'all are gonna ask, you know, how can we make chip bags to sell that day? And I know that a ton of people, their idea is to give them away, you know, with their logo information. And that's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. Again, as I mentioned a little while ago, I'm kind of the kind who I'm working with the bare minimum here, just because I make sure to work myself on a tight budget. So I didn't want to just be giving away stuff. And again, it's absolutely okay if you do. Occasionally I do. I just didn't feel like doing it this time. So, you know, I needed to think, basically brainstorm, what kind of chip bags am I going to create that don't have happy birthday Monica, you know? How am I going to make that, sell it, whatever? So I decided I was going to try and use some of my more popular or different themes, and I was just going to put something generic on there. For example, I love TikTok, because what freaking teenager nowadays does not love TikTok? All right. Came up with a couple of Minecraft ones. I did put the flavors on there. And then on the back of these bags, I did put my information. So that's Scan Me right there. But I wanted them to be able to see what I can do. This one says, "Howdy, darling, Dolly Parton fan club." And it has a Scan Me right here. I sold a couple of Bad Bunny ones, a couple of Selena ones. Here's one of the Selena ones. And it has a flavor. And on the back, on this one, I actually have 2 QR codes. That's just for, you know, one of them is mine and one of them is so that people can dance to Selena. And as you can see, you know, I put custom party supplies, marketing supplies, all that good stuff. Stranger Things is popular right now, so I had one of those, and it says, "I love Stranger Things." I know some people really love name brand stuff, so I did Chanel and I did Gucci. This is Gucci, right? Yes, it's Gucci. I don't know. So I made, you know, and it has my branding on there. I had a couple of new, like I said, I sold a couple of these, some Bad Bunny ones, and it has my information on the back. You see that? I sold out pretty much of my lip balms and my lighters, and it's funny because, like I said, the adults were the ones who were like, "Oh my God, Bad Bunny," and, you know, or Backwoods and this and that. And so I sold a lot of those, so I should have made more and I didn't. But yeah, so as far as like, well, what can I make to possibly sell that day? Depends on your target audience the day of. This is where my mistake was, is that I know my general target audience are parents who are buying things for their kids. That's going to be a good 60% of my income, is that, while the other 40% are, well, I would say 20% will then be adults buying gifts for other adults, and the other 20 being small business type sales, right? But I would recommend to really think about, well, who's actually there that day? And that's where my mistake was. Because as I told my brother and sister, I thought that what would happen at main event would be kids being, oh, mommy, 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 gimme, 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 look, Bluey, Bluey, and TikTok, and yada, yada. That's what I thought. But what I did not think of is who has the money? Who holds the wallet? Okay? I didn't think about that. You know, all the kids that came to my table were shockingly very well behaved. Sure, a couple grabbed something, and for a moment my heart was like, and then like, it's like the kids and the parent had the talk, right? Where it's like, don't you dare ask me for nothing, because you know mama ain't got no money for that. And so these kids are really well behaved, but some of the parents, you know, while the kids are playing, these parents are just kind of standing there. They're just chilling. So what happens is they get bored, they start browsing. And then they're like, oh my God, my brother loves this, or my husband, or my boyfriend loves this, or my aunt, or my niece, or, you know. And it's like, oh, do you have any of these? Do you have any of these? I'm like, not on me, you know. So while I certainly did make customers for the future for the items that I did not take with me that day, I will say, think of all the way around who's going to be at the event that day. What kind of people do you think, right? What area will you be in? Or what part of town are you going to be in that you think this might make a difference? And then gear the products that you take with you that day to that. So I know we discussed, you know, strategy as far as what you should take with you, maybe how to kind of conform your designs to how to sell out that day, as well as like your display setup. Tip number 6, I believe will be to actually look like you give a crap. All right. I am not super sociable. I am what I would call a social introvert, meaning I can talk like the day of because I can kind of find my people, or I can find like, you know, something to talk about. But for the most part, I'm not somebody who wants to go out. I love to just be in the quiet. This is probably why I talk so much in my videos, because most days I'm not talking to anybody. But what I'm saying is that when you go, yes, there's going to be times where it's a downtime, right? You're not going to have people right in front of your table. So you can chill, maybe be on your phone for a moment. But the moment in any part around your table that you see that there are people and they're kind of moving around, you should be up. I don't say you don't have to make eye contact with every person, but be up. And either look like you're kind of busy or just be available to talk. Okay, because there were a couple of people I saw at the event who looked miserable. Their table setup was all of a very small box, and they just kind of like bloop, 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 and placed it on the table, sat down, and then were just on their phones. And they just looked miserable. I mean, no offense, but I wouldn't want to go up to a table of somebody who looks like she don't want to talk to me. Okay, I get it. I get that, you know, maybe you do these all the time and it never goes well, and but they don't know that. This person does not know that. And I'm sorry, but that tells me when you look miserable about your own business and your own setup and your own day and all that, why should I get excited about you? Right? So even my hair, I had like 2 pigtails, which Lord knows I'm a 30-year-old woman with pigtails, don't care. But it's just the fact that it kind of just makes me look more, I don't know, goofy, more like whatever, you know, more personable, more friendly, I guess I would say. And yeah, you know, and I had a white t-shirt, and I had my mom and my sister wear a matching white t-shirt. I ironed on our logo, or my logo, onto all of our shirts. And yeah, you know, and everybody would go up, and since my logo was so big, they would say, Adriana's Paper Crafts. And they would look at my shirt and be like, are you Adriana? I'm like, sure am, you know, and it was awesome. So definitely that's going to be my last tip to you, is that even if you're shy, maybe you are actually bored that day, don't let them know it. Don't let them know it. fake your butt off if you need to. Because like I said, I'm not the most like social butterfly out there, and I will definitely fake it. But you know what is that eventually what gets me really amped up is that I'm proud of my stuff. I'm proud of my business. I'm proud of my work, proud of how I can get really creative, you know, how I push myself, and that boosts my confidence, and I can talk anybody's ear off about my business. You want to talk about me and my business? I could talk all day. Let's do it. All right. So it's just kind of like that. Show them that energy, that to spend money on you and your business. All right. I don't know about you, but my business, my income, this is my full-time income. This is how I pay my bills. So if I'm not hustling out there, my bills are being paid. My son's going to go hungry. He can't buy his school uniforms, on and on and on. So that's where my energy comes from, is knowing, shoot, we got to live to eat another day. All right. All right. So I think I covered everything. If I did not, please comment down below and I will break it down for you. I was really excited for this, and honestly, I do want to do more events, but also like then I get lazy and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do it. But anyways, so if you're in my area, which is in the DFW area, let me know about any events. Maybe we could meet there. I'm going to link whatever I can down below, and I will see you guys next time. Yeah, bye.